Hello, Toy Collector fans. Universal Toy Collector here, and welcome to the channel. And welcome to my childhood toy memories. Okie dokie then, so we are at that time of the week again for another episode of my childhood toy memories, the series where I get to chat with you, members of the YouTube and toy collecting communities, about certain toys that you have in your collection that spark memories of your childhood. And that's what we want to listen to. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear your memories of your childhood. And joining us this week, he's making his first appearance on the channel. It's Michael Shaffer. Hello, sir. How are you?
Oh, very well, sir. Thank you for having me on, Stu. I appreciate it.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. I've seen you comment on many of the videos that I've done within this series so far. So I thought, why not ask you on? And here you are. So awesome stuff. So it's the first time you've done something like this, I hear.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I just want to say I love this series. That's why I'm commenting.
No, I appreciate it, man.
So much. It's great hearing the stories, how everybody got into toys. You know, each person has a unique story and you know what they're interested in. I mean, of course, there's overlap because everybody likes Star Wars, it seems, but it's I like how varied it is and getting to hear everybody, stories how they started. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, not only that, I mean, everybody had toys as a kid. So, you know, like I say, people have got memories of those toys and stuff like that, you know, where they were when they got that toy and what were their initial feeling and stuff like that. And you're going to be no different. And we've got your selection up now. So you've sent it through. So let's start off. And what a start this is. Oh my days. I mean, everybody loves a bit of Star Wars. So what are your memories regarding this, Michael?
So it's the white X-Wing. That was my very first Star Wars vehicle I ever got. It would have been Christmas of 1979. And I was just over the moon because I got to see the movie. I didn't see it in 78. I was a little too young. 77 rather. I saw it in 78. Because it was in the theaters for over a year. I mean, especially where we live, we're not in any big metropolis area. But I was blown away and wanted the toys so badly. But this was my childhood X-Wing. I lovingly restored it. Everything's original except the canopy and the stickers, but everything else, the guns, all the electronics came back to life. It still works, no breakages. It was yellowed badly. I did have to whiten it. But that was, goodness, that's at least 7 years ago that I did that. And
it's still holding up.
Didn't change at all. I keep the room dark. Obviously I have lights in the cabinet, but I don't let sunlight get in. And I don't know how much it's sunlight or if it's a mixture of sunlight and hand oils on the toys themselves, maybe. Now this one, the battery, I did not store it well as a kid, but I had always kept my toys knowing I had always had a vision that I was going to display them in some shape or form. I wasn't exactly sure what that was going to be, but I knew what I wanted to do from a very, very early age. I was a collector from the beginning. So, I knew I wanted to display them at some point. Now, obviously, there's a whole bunch of other figures in there, but that is not, I have him somewhere else. That is not my childhood X-Wing Luke. That's just another one in the cockpit. But I do have my childhood X-Wing Luke standing near it.
I mean, that looks in absolute pristine condition. I mean, it's ridiculous that, you said you've whitened it and stuff like that. Well, I had some 30th anniversary Stormtroopers that yellowed quite badly. So I whitened those and they lasted about 6-7 months and they went back to being a real sort of like beige color on the chest and stuff like that. So, I mean, this toy was made in the 70s. So it obviously had different plastic and once you whiten it again, it sort of like stays. So the plastic's obviously a higher quality plastic that they used for the toys back then. But
different, I mean, you know how
just
how the carded figures, different bubbles yellow differently.
Yeah.
How like the Tri-Lego and the Palatoy don't seem to yellow nearly as badly as, say, especially the Jedi and the Empire
Oh
Kenner
wow.
ones. Those really
Okay.
seem to yellow the bubble. So, like you
Yeah.
said, it is different plastics. Now, I didn't use anything overly strong. I just used off the shelf. What is it? 7% hydrogen peroxide in
Right.
a
Okay.
pan, out in the sun.
Yeah.
Uh, I left it in there for quite a while, but because the solution was so mild, I figured it'd be fine, and I kept checking on it and checking on it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it
It
knock
it
wood, it stayed.
it looks absolutely superb, and it's funny you say that you got yours in '79. I got my
Yeah,
first X-wing in '80, and that was for Christmas, I think, and it was after the release of Empire Strikes Back.
nice.
Now, I hadn't seen Star Wars up to that point. Um, this was my first sort of. I know I didn't even see Empire. I got the toys for Christmas, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this looks pretty cool."
Mhm.
And it was only till I saw Star Wars for the first time on TV when the S foils opened up.
Oh,
I really
yeah.
did appreciate that toy so much more because I had the Darth Vader TIE fighter as well, and I had like the
Oh,
Darth Vader
nice.
figure and the Luke pilot figure as well, X-wing figure. And I remember that. Can you remember the day you got this?
Yeah, it would have been that Christmas of
Yeah,
'78.
yeah.
Um,
Did you
and
know you were
then
getting it, Michael?
I
Or
did
was it a
not.
surprise? No?
Complete 100% surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had no I we never knew. Now, I mean, we would as I got older, I would like hunt for toys that
yeah.
might be hidden around the house. Uh, but you know what? It was funny after I found a stash the first time, and it kind of ruined the surprise on Christmas. I basically stopped looking because then
Okay.
you're like acting surprised for your parents, and that
Yeah,
felt phony. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I had no clue it was coming, and I mean the number of hours and miles I must have flown that thing around the house
Yeah,
just nonstop. Because by that point, I had a farm boy Luke. I don't know if X-wing Luke had come out by the
right.
time I got
Okay.
that or not. I'm
Yeah,
not exactly sure of the timing on that. But my second vehicle, you talked about the Darth Vader TIE Fighter. That was my second vehicle. So
oh,
those
wow.
two, they fought constantly, those two
Yeah,
ships.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is the Kenner version of the X-wing.
Yes.
We
Yes.
didn't have that one because we didn't have the little light at the front. We didn't have
Right.
the electric sounds and stuff like that. I
Right.
had the Palatoy one, so there
Right.
was, no batteries, no electrics or anything like that. But I loved it. It was just and I'm looking at it now. It's not my childhood one. And then
Mhm.
Scuba Pete, bless him, he actually got me a Kenner one, which
Oh,
was
nice.
so it's here. I've got it here.
Oh, beautiful.
I've not done
Oh, that's
anything
the
to it.
battle damage one. That
That's it.
that I
Yeah,
love that one. Oh yeah, with
yeah.
the
I've
green
not done
color and
anything
the
to it. I've not got any of the stickers for it at all. I've just kept it as
beautiful.
is because that's how it came. And
Now the
yeah,
Palatoy one, the R2 was chromed, right? He was back metal.
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yes, yeah, that's nice because as the electronics and the lights were cool for ours, but once obviously this is decades later. Once I saw that the Palatoy one, that the R2 was back metal chrome, that just made
Mhm.
me. I don't have one yet, but I'm on the hunt for one of those at some point because
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Just love that
No,
that
it's a
concept.
great ship. It's a great ship.
Oh yeah,
You've kept yours for all this time. Was it ever times when you felt like moving it on, or was it something that you were sort of like, no, I'm going to be keeping this for as long as I possibly can? Were you
yeah.
thinking
No,
up
I
until now?
never
But
once. No, I'd never considered getting rid of it. I mean, it was not stored well. I always been in plastic tubs, but as I moved from house to house and
mm,
through different relationships and stuff, yeah, no, I always knew I was never going to part with it because at that point they weren't even really worth anything, so it didn't make sense.
yeah, that's
You know
it.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Um, it didn't come up yet, but I lost some. We had a fire in.
Oh gosh,
It would
wow.
have been. Let me get the years right. Would have been 92. Yes,
Yeah,
1992. So
yeah.
some of my ships and toys I lost. Like I lost my AT-AT. I lost
Oh no.
um, my Millennium Falcon, but it depended where they were stored in the house, and that's why I
Yeah,
lost those. Some other toys, but I was really really lucky because most of them, most of them survived, along with my Darth Vader carrying case with all the figures. I want to
Yeah.
say before I started really heavily recollecting again, I had about 38 of the original Kenner run, the classic Kenner, figures,
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
of the whatever the count is, 90
I mean,
some.
that's got to be heartbreaking. I couldn't imagine
Oh,
going through
it
anything like
was
that. I
bad.
mean, that's not good at all. But
Yeah.
with the bits that you've lost, have you now managed to pick those up?
Yes.
Do
Yes, I
you
have.
still feel that sense of attachment to them and nostalgia to them, even though they weren't your original ones?
Not.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, yeah. I have more attachment to the childhood vehicles and
Yeah.
figures than I do the ones. But I mean, as soon as I got that Falcon, I want to say it was 2019.
Okay.
I folded up the legs, pulled down the
It
front
brings it all back, doesn't
landing,
it?
and I flew it. I'm
Yeah.
banking it around the house just like I did as a kid. Christmas morning when I got that. I want to say the one I got would have been either 80 or 80. It probably was 1980 because it was an Empire box and it had that sticker with the extra, like the breathing masks and the
Yeah.
backpacks
Yeah.
and the
That's
extra
yeah. Yeah.
guns and stuff. I know it was not a Star Wars box, but the X-wing obviously was, and the Vader Tie
Yeah.
Fighter were both in Star Wars boxes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I love them. The toys are great, but I definitely have more of an attachment to the childhood survivors. And
Yeah.
I was just anal retentive about it. I almost every single weapon of those 38 figures I had almost every single accessory. I didn't lose because I'd always take them off and put them in the storage drawer,
Yeah.
inside the Vader case because I got that case very early on, and the figures always went back in the case. I remember always folding up the Falcon and putting it. I didn't save the Falcon box because I thought it was anything. I just saved it because it went
Yeah.
back in the box and then got stowed
Yeah.
away every time I was done playing. I
I
made
I
sure
find it
that.
really interesting how people do things differently and collect differently and how they look after their toys. I mean, obviously, by the sound of it, you were someone who really did take good care of your
Mhm.
toys when you were a kid. Was that a conscious thing on your part, or was it just how your mum and dad said to you, right, you look after this sort of stuff?
It was more my personality, I think. They
Yeah,
weren't. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, especially early on, and I
yeah,
knew, it had to last. Like I remember the kid's name. I remember the day he did it. He ripped off the head off my big head Han.
oh,
I
wow.
chased that little son of a bitch around anyway.
Yeah,
But I never re-got that figure. And that was early on. So it put into me knowing, oh, if I lose a figure or if something happens, they're not going to rebuy me the figure.
yeah,
So I have to take care of them. Plus I was very neat and tidy. I was a put away soldier, as you say, and I just was some of the toys I'd even wash.
wow,
Like, yeah, I was
wow.
really a little nutty
Mm.
with disassembling, making sure, those uh not the landing struts, the blue on the Falcon, the blue
Yeah, on
struts
the
that
on the
come
on
down
the
for the
on the
door.
door. Yeah, the struts
Yeah,
on the door.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
always carefully take those out because I knew they just seemed rickety even back then to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I was just careful. The only thing I lost on my Falcon, and I lost it because it was a pain in the ass. It would get stuck in the right rear landing gear, the training ball. I took it
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
threw it in the box, and lost it because it just would get constantly stuck
Wow.
flying that damn
Yeah,
thing around, And anyway,
yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I need left to get for my Falcon. It's complete. I got mine at a car. Not I didn't. I got mine at a toy fair. £40. I
nice.
thought bargain. I'll
Oh,
have some of that. Yeah. So and I got
hell
my
yeah,
AT-AT. I got that for 60. So I've done really well with when it comes to
yeah,
prices and stuff like that. But this was
heck yeah,
before it all went through the roof. Do you know what I mean?
right,
It's just gone very silly now because people kind of know what they got. All Star Wars would slap a little bit more on that. But
yeah,
yeah, I just need the training ball. So I mean, absolutely no rush. I can't see it
right,
because it's up there, so it's all good. Um, so Star Wars has obviously played a huge part in your childhood. I mean,
very much,
obviously the X-wing and the Darth Vader's Tie Fighter weren't the only vehicles you got and stuff like that. But
right,
that wasn't the only toy line that you collected. So let's move on to
correct.
slide number 2. I mean,
Oh,
I've gotta say, when I saw this picture, I was like, "Look at the condition of those," and what an underrated toy line I think
uh,
Mask is.
yeah, it's gonna show through. I was a Kenner kid, so
Yeah,
of the 3 toy lines that I mainly collect, it was all Kenner, and these everything you
yeah,
see there, except that T-Bob thing in the background,
yeah.
everything is childhood original. The
Wow.
only thing I had to fix on Rhino, I had to get 2 new smokestacks for
Yeah.
it, but everything else and the same with, not Night Stalker, it was renamed, not
Hurricane.
Firecracker, Hondo's Hurricane, thank you.
Yeah.
That's my childhood original, the figures, the helmets, because I got them early on in '85. I got by then the family had a little bit more money, and
Yeah.
by then I'm 11, so I was mowing lawns and I was making my own money, and I
Yeah.
was buying toys myself. But yeah, those,
Did
the
did
Rhino
did
was
these
not
get
my,
played with? Did these get
oh
played with?
yeah,
Because they
oh
are in
absolutely.
absolute immaculate condition. They are
The picture,
incredible.
I think the pictures do. You can see some wear on some of the chrome, and I mean, I might have
Yeah.
some of it I touched up, but most of it I didn't. I left most of it. I didn't touch up any of the figures at all. I Because by then, I'm 11. I was even more fastidious with taking care of it and not
Yeah.
losing the helmets. And
Yeah.
but yeah, all the parts and pieces, everything's there. It's like I said, the only reason I had to replace the smokestacks, they just
Yeah.
had worn out from taking them, moving them into battle position. That's why I have them up at this point,
Yeah.
instead of folded down. But yeah, everything there is all childhood.
It's
My whole
just
mask collection.
insane. Look at the yeah. I mean, that is,
It's
and
yeah.
I think it looks so good in the glass cases as well. So what are
Oh,
your
thank you.
particular memories of these two vehicles? I mean, were they a birthday gift, Christmas?
Uh, I I bought Hurricane myself, but
Oh wow.
Rhino was the big Christmas present of '85. I
Yeah.
got Rhino and another picture we're going to show for
Yeah.
the Christmas of '85,
Well,
and
that was some
I
Christmas then.
was it was huge. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
blown away. Just could not believe, and that would have been, let's see, '85. I still would have been in 5th grade. I know
Yeah.
school's different for you guys over there, but yeah, I would have been. That was huge. That
Yeah.
was one of the biggest Christmases for toy presents for me.
And again,
Um,
I've asked the question before with the Star Wars.
yeah,
Was this something that you knew you were getting, or was this a surprise as well?
this and the other one we'll say
Yeah.
were both surprises. Yeah, had no idea. The big box I saw, two very large boxes,
Yeah.
and my sister and my brother and sister are 10 and a half months apart, and I'm 10 years later.
Wow.
So, because most kids my age, I was born in '74. Most kids my age, their parents were Gen Jones, baby boomers. My parents are
Yeah.
silent generation. They were born in 36 and 38. So most kids, they weren't expecting me to come along in 1974. They weren't planning for another kid. They had their two
Yeah.
kids back to back and they were done. And then a decade goes by and here comes this asshole. But yeah, uh, but no, so I think because of that, my parents they were a little bit more established. So by '85, we had more money in the family. My
Yeah.
dad
Yeah.
bought a bar and money was coming in. So that's why that Christmas was so much bigger, with
Yeah.
this big present.
Wow.
Hurricane's just in the background, but it was mainly Rhino because that was just,
Yeah.
that was the mask vehicle, and in '85 for Christmas, that was just huge
Yeah.
because I watched that cartoon every day after school religiously. It was just awesome to me because I had a dalliance with Transformers, but
Yeah.
they were so expensive, and for me, they broke, and I was
Yeah.
careful with my toys, and they still broke,
Yeah.
and it pissed me off. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not spending my money or asking for these anymore. But
Yeah.
these, you could transform, do all the stuff, and they
Yeah.
held up. I didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't brittle to me. A lot of people say they break. Obviously, mine didn't
Yeah.
break. And I took these outside. For some reason, Star Wars didn't go outside, but
Do you know,
Mask went
it's
outside.
funny. It's funny you say that about Star Wars because I was talking to um I can't, who was I talking to? I was talking to someone else doing this series, and they said that they never took their Star Wars
Mhm.
outside. Yet they took their what was it? Motu outside as well. I think it might have been Scuba Pete
Yeah.
himself. So I find that really interesting that
Yeah.
there's certain toys that you take outside and then certain toys that you
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I took my Star Wars stuff outside. I kind of wish
Yeah.
I hadn't because you end up losing guns and figures get dirty and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And so, you know, but back to Mask. I mean, yeah, outstanding. And
Great
the
toy line.
Hurricane. I
Yeah.
what a lovely vehicle. And I mean, how did you feel when that was the first vehicle that you bought yourself with the money that you earned?
Oh, wonderful. I mean, being able
Mm,
to be able to get to go to this be able to go to the store and find what you want and buy with your own money and know that, because at that point I'm really collecting. I'm wanting to get everything in the line, and I
yeah.
don't have to wait for birthdays or Christmas, because I didn't get we didn't get presents except Christmas or your birthday. That was it.
Well, yeah,
So I
yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah,
that, I mean, it's not like you I didn't get a toy if we went along to the store. I mean, I'd have to beg and plead to get a figure, a Star. And but back then, the Star Wars figure was only, I mean, early on it was like $1.99. At the end of the line, it
wow,
was
yeah,
maybe $3.
yeah,
Um, but by the end of the line, I have memory of the Power of the Force with the coin, but by 85, I was so out of Star Wars because Star Wars had been out of the theaters by then
yep,
for 2
yep,
years.
yep,
As much as I loved it, I was just obviously moved on to Mask
mm,
and other things. Yeah, so yeah, being able to buy it with your own money, that was a big deal, and being able to
yeah,
get them, exactly what you wanted, because I had, that was in the opening credits. It didn't show up in the show for a long time, but that was in the opening credits. I'm like, there's this 57 Chevy, and there was a 57 Chevy that a guy had in town, not this color. It was
yeah,
red, but that was the other cool thing about Mask. You'd see those actual
vehicles,
vehicles
yeah,
on the road. And
yeah.
Rhino, as cool as it also kind of sort of reminded me, I was a big Smoking the Bandit fan, loved that movie. And the Aerodyne,
Yeah,
rig reminded me a little bit of that. So yeah, it
yeah. I
great
mean,
line.
it sounds like to me then that you had a clear vision that when you saved your money, Hurricane was the vehicle that you wanted to get.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's
I
insane.
was
That's insane.
I was
Yeah.
I loved it, but I was somewhat disappointed that the doors didn't open. I mean, I
Okay.
understood. I
Yeah.
was old enough to understand that, okay, they
Yeah.
couldn't possibly because of the wheels, underneath,
Yeah.
but it was a little bit of a disappointment where so many of the other vehicles, almost all of them, there's only a handful that the doors don't open, you know.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I wasn't disappointed when I got it. I just,
yeah,
it
it's a
was a little
stunning
bit of a,
vehicle. It's a stunning
oh yeah,
vehicle, and funny enough, Georgie had that vehicle as a kid as well. And,
nice.
so it was only a couple of years ago for, I think, one of her birthdays, I actually got her a boxed Hurricane, and,
Oh wow.
so because she said she wanted to get, like, toys that she had from her childhood. So I got her the Hurricane. So we've got the Hurricane, and, they also had a Chevy as well, Georgie's mum and dad, when she was a kid as well, because they liked the big American cars. They used to go down to, the car do's and stuff like that, and the car meetups and stuff like that, and over in this country, and yeah, so
Yeah.
they've always been fond of the American cars, and they had one of those as well. So that was pretty
That was
cool.
an
So yeah,
enormous that had to be enormous on British roads over there back then. I mean, because
yeah,
that was
yeah,
a
yeah.
big piece
I
of
mean, the,
metal.
the roads over here are still pretty small, but the
Mhm.
American cars would always look big. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, did the cartoons play a big factor as well? So was it the cartoons that got you into the toy line when it come to Mask?
Cartoons. Cartoons. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
yes, cartoon and Mask. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Seeing that, without a doubt, I sought out the first mass vehicle I got was Condor, which is so
yeah,
many people's entry
yeah, yeah.
into it. I remember cutting up boxes and making like a hideout and a secret entrance for Brad to come in and out of. And yeah, the cartoon just it hooked me immediately. I was
Mm,
instantly,
mm.
this is the thing. I want this toy line. In Hills department store was the place we'd go. It was cheaper. I know a lot of people have fond memories of Toys R Us. I don't. One, it was really far
Okay.
away for us, and it
Yeah.
was far more expensive, far by head and shoulders more expensive than
Oh, wow.
like Hills or KB Toy. Those were the two
Okay.
main ones we'd go to. Sears a little bit, but Sears was more for the Christmas wish book,
Yeah.
circling
Yeah.
things for Santa's
Yeah.
list and stuff. More
God,
like a
those days.
shopping
Like, what?
list.
Wow. Yeah.
Those were, I mean, yeah, I remember sitting on the bed just, you know, paging through,
But we had
circling
so much
Sears.
to choose from back then, didn't
Oh,
we?
it
With
was
the toy lines,
insane.
back in our
It's
childhood, back in the 80s.
insane.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
menu, yeah, menu was huge. It was
It
like one of those diners with,
yeah.
800 things.
And,
You,
and and when you look through the catalog, you saw something new for that because you had, your previous years, and you're looking through that, and then you got the next years, and there was new stuff coming out, and
always.
I used to do that when we used to have the K's catalog over here and stuff like that, which is pretty similar to Sears and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But, oh yeah, it was just
Oh, yeah.
it's just incredible, absolutely
Totally.
incredible.
And you'd use
Wow.
the card backs, especially Star Wars,
Yeah,
circle the ones
yeah,
you need, check off the ones you already have, all
yeah,
that stuff. Because, there would be birthday parties once I got older that, kids would come over and my mom would, send out the invites or whatever, and
yeah.
she would try to coordinate. But every once in a while, like I got two Landos the first birthday,
Okay.
the first, not the first birthday, but the first birthday that I remember getting doubles. It was Lando, and
Yeah.
at the time, I didn't even know there were variants, but I happened to get, and I still have them, the painted
Wow.
eyes and teeth and the
Yeah,
non-aim. So I
yeah.
got in one shot, I got that
That's
variant
so
and
cool.
checked off,
Cool.
40 some years ago.
That's
Yeah,
insane. That's
hilarious.
insane. When it comes to Mask, they've redone the line, haven't they? And I
Mhm.
cannot
Yes,
remember who the company is.
the loyal subjects, they're redoing them.
Loyal Subjects, that's it. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
They've redone them.
yep.
I was so tempted to get them. I actually did pre-order them, but then I cancelled my pre-orders because I thought, as much as I like them, I wasn't big into Mask. I had a friend,
Right.
he was an only child, so he practically had everything that you could want. Star Wars, Motu, Transformers, GI Joe, Star Wars, Mask, and I just thought, they don't have that sort of like nostalgic, sentimental feeling for me
Mhm.
as what, like, say, like Star Wars or the Motu figures that I have
Right.
from my childhood, and it's
Get it.
so
Yeah.
that's why I cancelled it, and I don't want to be getting stuff just for the sake of getting them. But
Right.
if you didn't have these, would you have gone, okay, I
Yeah.
I used to collect masks. I'll jump into these. Would you have done that? Would you have got
Def-
them?
Definitely. Especially, I know a lot of people are saying they're expensive, but they're
I
really
don't think
not.
they're that bad.
Because if you try to get a sealed, brand new, perfect, original Kenner vehicle, it's far
Yep.
more than whatever they're charging for these four vehicles.
Yeah.
I bought, just out of curiosity, I pre-ordered the Condor. Again, it's the cheapest. It was
Yeah.
my first. I'm just curious. I'm not really into blast effects or any of that, so that part's kind of lost on me. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it'll come with it. It's fine, great. But I'm just curious of what changes or not changes, what improvements or not improvements they made. I
Yeah.
like that I'm all, because all of mine, I got early enough. All of mine are short masks, and I know they're going to be including long and short masks. I believe the long mask has a blast effect on
Oh,
it.
wow. Okay. That's
Again,
pretty cool.
but yeah, to get any, to get a Rhino with perfect chrome in a perfect box, you'll never
Yeah.
be able to get it for that money,
Yeah.
ever. So yeah, if I did
Yeah.
not have mine, I definitely would have been all in on that, because like you said, I have that childhood
Yeah.
connection
Of
to
course
it.
you
But
do.
I
Of course you
I
do.
totally get it. Like, I was going to ask you, with your connection to Star Wars, do you like the retro collection line at all? Does that do anything for you?
Only the figures that we had as a kid, like the original trilogy figures. I
That's
did
what I
get
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I did get a wave of the Mandalorian figures and stuff like that, but then I've moved those on because I thought it's new. It's a new property. It doesn't deserve that sort of like. I mean, yes, I know that in the retro style, I get
Right.
that, but I just feel no.
Same.
And even then, they've you know with the mask boxes and stuff like that, they're pretty identical to what they were back in the 80s. You had the GI
Mhm.
Joe sort of like retro wave, you know, for 3 3/4 that Kenner did.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, they're pretty much like for like of the cards that you got back in the 80s, with the GI
Right.
Joe. Star Wars, they've chopped it and changed it because they put the rough edges around the back, and it's a boring background, you know. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Star Wars is
I
a
agree.
funny property these days, but
It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was
I mean,
just curious if, if that
yeah,
pulled on you at
I
all.
don't have that much. I mean, I've got the sets. I
Mhm.
didn't get the recent set, which was the one with Ponda Barbara and Stormtrooper Han.
Right.
I didn't get that. You know, I'm okay without it, I think.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but there you
cool.
go.
That's
But back
I
to
think that's
Mars. Oh,
healthy.
sorry.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
no, I just think
yeah,
that's healthy that,
yeah.
that some people just need it's new, I need to get it, I need to get it. I think it's
Mm,
healthy that you can say no to certain things,
yeah.
That's
I
good.
mean, it's great that you can get figures that Kenner never did. I
Right.
like that, and
Mhm.
that's a pretty cool concept and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But going back to Mask, I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many people within the community. I can think of Luke Reynolds. I can think of Adam Berry, Real Toy Dude, Chris Meanwhile.
Mhm.
They've got
Mhm.
awesome displays of Mask,
Oh,
and it
incredible.
displays so well. They look great. The boxes and stuff like that, and the vehicles. It just they do look good. And like I said, I was very tempted with
Yeah.
that line, but
Well,
I've just
and to
no.
to go on to that, that was another thought I had with the loyal subjects. It would be a neat way to have the vehicle. You could have both vehicles, two of every kind, and one
Yeah,
displayed in regular mode and one
yeah,
displayed in assault mode. So that because it is a
yeah,
two for one. Like I know a lot of Transformer
yeah,
collectors do that. Robot mode and
yeah.
or alt mode or whatever they call it.
Because I think
Um,
Hurricane's coming out for Wave 2, isn't it?
yes, it is. It
That's
is.
yeah.
That's that Jackhammer, and I think Piranha and something else. Oh, Gator. Jackhammer,
Gator, that's
Piranha,
it.
Gator, and
Yeah,
Hurricane. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
I
it's tempting.
no, shush, no, I'm not gonna get them. I'm not gonna tempting for you maybe, but no, no. Right, so
No
that's
one to say
Mars.
one. Yes,
There was another toy line that you have, and that is
yes.
let's move on. I believe these
Centurion.
are Centurions, yeah.
Yes. Now this is a bit of a cheat. I know it's supposed to be one toy. I'm mainly focusing on Ace McLeod, the guy in blue.
Yep.
Again, Kenner. This would have been the very last toy line I collected,
Okay.
and other than the one we see on the left, which is the base figure with his Sky Knight
Yep.
assault weapon system. Again, the cartoon drew me in. I bought the whole line myself because again, this is '86. I'm making even more money mowing grass. I was mowing grass for this doctor. He had a
Yep.
big house and also a doctor's office, so I could mow both and made what seemed like huge money to me. In this would have been the summer of '86. So I would have been between fifth and sixth
Wow.
grade. And
Yeah.
that's why once you got to middle school and, oh, girls, the toys kind of went away. Now I still had them in my bedroom, but this
Yeah.
was the last toy line, and Ace was my favorite because being able to fly was always a dream. But then to be able to wear your vehicle that you're flying instead of being
Yeah.
inside it, that was a whole other level. And it combined
Yeah.
I mean, there were regular guys in this suit that they put on that all this stuff could plug into. They were regular guys that were experts in their field. There was air, land, and sea.
Yeah.
You can see the other guys there, the left and right of Ace. But uh, yeah, the first one I got, my mom got me because she had seen me watching the cartoon. And then I bought the rest of the line. Actually, almost all of them at the hardware store in town, Wilhelm's Hardware. It was just a
Yeah.
family run place, but super discounted prices because the toy line just wasn't selling. I think they were a little expensive for the time because everything's bigger. These are like 7-inch figures. They're far
Yeah.
bigger than because the vehicle, the weapon systems they're wearing are kind of the feature, but the articulation was really good. You
Yeah.
had bendable knees and elbows and the legs and
Mm.
the helmets came off, and yeah, it was. I loved the toy line. I loved the cartoon. Um, I never got any of the hard to find stuff. There's like a second wave that came out. Now in later years, collecting, I eventually picked up one or two of those items, but
Yeah.
yeah, I love this toy line, and because it was the last thing I collected as a kid, it holds that special place in my heart. But
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
the Kenner kid comes through.
Yeah.
all Kenner,
Well, look,
Mask,
listen,
Star Wars.
we bash Kenner till the cows come home, but I mean, back in the day, they did some good stuff, and they still are doing some good stuff. And I recently done a video which will be up, you know, soon, and they're a company at the end of the day. They're out to make money. It's as simple as that. And
Yeah,
they do some good stuff. They do some bad stuff, and it's not just Kenner. It's all toy companies and every other company in the world as well. But with
right.
regards to these, again, is that your childhood?
Yes. All of them, all of the parts and
It's
pieces. Yes.
what
Yeah.
again, they look
Yeah.
absolutely pristine. They look in such good condition.
Yeah, I was really
Do you-
I was again, I'm getting older, but yeah, I
yeah.
was nutty about taking care of them. And the parts and pieces stayed on really well. I'll
Mm,
give the design that.
yeah.
So stuff wasn't falling off, but like if I would launch missiles or I would, I'd launch them and whatnot, but I'd always make sure I'd retrieve them. That's why I still have my both my bombs from
Yeah.
Thunderhawk for Mask.
Yeah.
I launched those hundreds of times, but I'd make sure I'd know where they'd land and always pick them up, even outside. Now these did not go outside, to the best of
Wow.
my memory. That might have helped keep them in better condition. But
Yeah. I
now
mean, so I was going to
the
say
only
when you pick things up,
Mhm,
you get things from second hand, the secondary market and stuff like that, or you
mhm,
go to a toy fair or whatever. Are you because the how you've looked after your toys and the condition that your toys are in?
mhm.
Do you look for like for like? You've got to get a figure in that good a condition as yours, otherwise you don't buy it, or
I try. I mean, price always, like in this
it
instance,
plays a part. Yeah.
the one correction I have to make, the extra weapon systems like the one on the right and in the back.
Yeah.
Those did not come with figures. The base system came with the figure and the weapon system.
Right. Yeah.
So to display them better, I picked up those figures are not like the extra aces, the extra blue guys are not my original childhood, but the one
Right.
on the
Okay.
left
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
in his original helmet, all the pieces, but all the weapon systems and parts and pieces. I think the only thing I replaced was a sticker. If you look at the back one, that sticker just to the right of the red gun that's going horizontally on his chest, that's the only
Yeah.
sticker I had to replace on that entire thing.
That's mad.
Yeah, I was just really, really particular. And
Yeah.
the guy with the water, I would get him wet, but Kenner made the stickers for the one that went in water. They designed them that they could get wet and they wouldn't delaminate. They stayed. I mean,
That's
I
mad, isn't it?
submerged
For
that
them to
thing.
think about that back in that time, it's because I mean, look, listen, toys were meant to be played with at the end of the day. That's why
Totally,
we had them. I mean,
totally.
I couldn't imagine ever getting a Star Wars figure or a G.I. Joe figure or whatever figure and then keeping it in the card or keeping it in box. Back
Right.
then, you just want to rip that card open, didn't you? Get that out the bubble and
Totally.
play with it, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know too much about Centurions. I remember the figures.
Mhm,
I remember vaguely the cartoon. I wasn't that big into it. But what
mhm.
I will say is, look how colourful they are. I
Ah,
mean, was that part of the appeal to you, the brightness, the colours and stuff like that? Because it was the same with Mask to a certain degree, wasn't it? Very
yes,
bright and
the
colourful.
colors, the story of it. There was a little bit. I'm a big Star Trek fan, so there's a little bit of a Star Trek thing in that they have an orbiting space station that can beam them anywhere and
Yeah,
beam their weapon systems anywhere. So that was neat. There was a whole science thing. There would always be, how they had those PSAs, or you got to learn something at the end of the episode.
yeah,
Instead of be safe, look both ways, it would be about like Ace would go up in orbital interceptor and he'd be talking about a comet and how a comet forms and why we see it and why it has a tail. And I always loved science from an early age. Or
yeah,
Jake Rockwell would be by a volcano or whatever. So that drew me in. Obviously, the colors, the personalities of all three characters were very different. Working as a team, that appealed to me. It just a combination of things, but yeah, the
yeah,
colors for sure. I can't deny that. They really pop and they color coded. Each
yeah,
figure and their weapon
yeah.
systems, which I thought was cool. You knew
I mean,
exactly.
even the packaging
Oh
when you
yeah,
went through the stores, the toy stores and stuff like that. I mean, how important do you feel that the packaging was back in the day? You know, for all toy
Oh,
lines, Motu, Star Wars, GI Joe, Transformers, all the
huge,
big hitters. Yeah,
huge. I drew you in.
yeah, yeah,
It was so much so that when they changed the card backs for Star Wars to the Power of the Force with the coin,
yeah, yeah,
I was put off by it because it was this. I could handle that. Okay, yes, Star Wars is Star Wars, and then Empire, and they changed
yeah,
the
yeah,
title, but it stayed similar, and the card back stayed the same.
yeah,
But once they made that change, I didn't like that. Uh, and because I was a Kenner kid, I know a lot of people don't like closed boxes, but if you think about it, all of Mask, all of Star Wars, and then Centurions, all of those had completely closed boxes. You could not see inside. There
yeah,
was a
yeah,
paint, there was, a gouache painting on the front, and then on the back, usually it was the actual picture of the, except Star Wars, it was actually a
yeah,
picture of the vehicle or weapon system or whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I dabbled in Motu for a while because that artwork it's
That
breathtaking. It's
for me,
breathtaking.
Michael, that is the best. I
It's
think,
gorgeous.
you know, regardless of whether it's Origins, the original, or the later stuff, the newer stuff, I just think the packaging for Motu is absolutely superb. It really
Totally.
is. It's yeah,
Couldn't
love it,
agree more. Couldn't agree
love it.
more. Yeah, I had like Transformers Motu. It was like a 6 month
Yeah,
love affair, hot and
yeah,
then just died off. I don't know
yeah,
why exactly with Motu. Why I just was in and out of it. Didn't I wasn't as draw I watched the cartoon, but I wasn't a religious thing like I
yeah,
had to
yeah.
see all the Mask, I had to see all um the Centurions. Yeah.
Centurions.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? You know, again, we were very spoiled, not only with toy lines,
Mm,
but TV series and animated series back in the day. We had so many good
totally.
things to watch as in our childhood. It was just I love talking about this sort of thing because that, like you say, just by watching the TV, the memories that you get back from watching a certain TV program and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just awesome,
Totally.
awesome.
Totally.
Right. Okay.
Great
So
great songs, the theme songs, the cartoons, the toy line,
yeah,
we were hit over the head with it, but it didn't feel like we were. It didn't feel like a half-hour commercial for the toy line to us. We didn't know. We
no.
didn't know any better,
Yeah.
really. No.
I mean, even
Yeah.
then, back in the day, you had the commercials as well that were promoting these toy lines, as well
Yep.
as like comics and everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
pajamas and bed sheets and curtains and stuff like that. They just went all
Absolutely.
in, didn't they, with their pushing
Absolutely.
this sort of stuff, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got another mask. Look, I mean, Boulder Hill. I mean,
So
God,
this was
yeah,
the only play set of any toy line I ever got or owned as a kid. The only one. And this was that
yeah,
same Christmas I got Rhino, I got this, and I was just floored. The size of the box, the size of
yeah,
because obviously it's not in the cabinet because it won't fit. It
yeah,
that footprint is enormous. But
yeah, yeah.
everything except the hoses are original. That's my childhood. The
Wow,
stickers, all of it. It stayed together, and I never
that's
lost a
insane.
piece. Still functions, still fully transforms. I
Yeah,
just
cool.
keep it in gas station mode. But again, back to that loyal subjects part of me. Oh, I could get because I have the cabinets full of all the
Yeah,
masks at that display. I could get some from them, and I could populate this, with those. So
yeah.
part of me thinks about that, but then I have to dust them because they're not inside the cabinet. But
Oh,
yeah,
don't talk to me about dusting. An absolute ball ache. I would say that. Um, so that Christmas morning, you've come down. You've got two big boxes. You don't know what they are.
yeah.
Which was the first one that you opened?
I started with Rhino. We always saved the big present
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
last. So yeah, that was the last thing I opened up after the socks and the clothing and all the
yeah.
stuff that I need, but I don't want, yeah, that was the absolute last thing I opened. And I was just immediately, can we get the butter knife so I can open this box and put this thing together, start stickering it. And I stickered it, but again, I was really particular about putting
Yeah.
everything on squarely. It's sitting just over here to my right on the floor. But yeah,
Did Did you ever have
I
that
loved it.
feeling when you open something, say, like, for me, if that would have been me in your shoes and I got, say, like a Manelian Falcon or a Natat or something like that, I would be shaking.
Oh, yes. Oh, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
all nerves. Oh my God. Hey, sweaty hands. I couldn't, I mean, I ripped open the paper, and I saw, I'm trying to think. I can't remember clearly if the box was upside down or not, but I knew as soon as I opened it, it was a big enough tear that I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you got me this for Christmas." I
yeah,
was just, yeah, I was all tingles, because I had, at that point, I had enough other vehicles. I'm like, I'm just playing with it. Oh, we got to clean up, no, no, I got to play with this right away.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the, the only thing I was bad with, I had no interest in the little mini comics that came with the mask set. For
Oh,
some reason,
okay.
it just,
Yeah,
I think because it didn't match up with the cartoon and because
right.
it was contradictory, it bothered me some
Yeah,
way. I'm like, well, this
okay.
doesn't make sense. So I don't want to read this because I was all in on the cartoon and the toy.
Yeah,
So that I kind of, I've thought about collecting those, but those are difficult and, collecting paper, all of that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I was yeah, like buzzing when I ripped that open and saw that I got that
It's
because
just in again, fantastic condition,
I
Michael.
had no idea it was gonna. I didn't even think it was gonna be a toy because it was well enough boxed that stuff didn't rattle. Because I
Yeah,
was I started this, that sister of mine and we had a who can guess the present before you open it just by squeezing and shaking and
okay.
smelling
Yeah.
it. Can you guess what's in the box? And it would always piss off our mom because if we guessed right, she's like, "You ruined the surprise," that kind of thing. But this, I had no clue whatsoever.
There must have been some weight to that box, Michael.
Oh, huge! And I
Yeah?
was I was pretty tall by then, but yes, I could not lift. It was slid out from under the tree, and I could not. I
Wow.
like lifted it while it was touching the floor. I could not hold the box myself. Yeah, that was huge box. I wish I still had that. That got because I saved it because I always put it away in the box.
Yeah,
It was too damn big to, I didn't want to lose any parts, but I'd always disassemble it and put it away in the box, slide that base plate in and throw all the other
yeah,
stuff in. But yeah, it's robust. It really didn't break. I know the
yeah.
doors can be persnickety, but I lucked out. Nothing on it broke at all. Still have
Oh,
the
mad.
the jail is just sitting behind it underneath the trap
Oh,
door in
okay.
this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's back there. But yeah,
It's
I
just
just
a fantastic piece. I remember I don't remember seeing one of these as a kid. I saw it in the stores, but I never
Mhm.
saw it out of the box sort of thing or knew anybody that had one.
Right.
But my good friend Adam Berry, I mean, he's got an awesome collection of masks, and the one thing that he hasn't got is a Boulder Hill, and he said he's very reluctant to get it because of the size of it, and he's only got like a real limited, area where he can display stuff. But
Mhm. Mhm.
I always say that if you I so I get stuff and then worry about where I'm going to put it later, you know, and you can always make room.
Yeah.
Do you find with your collection you sort of like move stuff about? I mean, would you ever get a cabinet for this to put it in like a glass cabinet?
Oh, I'd have to get. I'd have to probably get something custom made because everything I've looked at,
Yeah,
nothing is deep
yeah.
enough. Not like my cabinets are fairly deep. They're 6 feet by 48 by I want to say 18 deep, and
Wow. Yeah.
this is not.
Yeah.
This would not fit in anything I've looked at or seen. Um, I'd love to have it in something so I wouldn't have to clean it, but
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I keep it not transformed. It's actually easier to keep clean
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this than when everything's out and open because then there's
Just
more parts and pieces sticking out. I would, yes, I'd like to, but
yeah.
I have four cabinets, two behind me and then two opposite that wall, and
Yeah.
they just fit. And I make sure nothing there. I don't have toys anywhere else in the house. Everything is in
Okay.
this room. This is like
Yeah.
the toy room. So I've thought about there is one other wall I could put a cabinet on. I played with that idea, but I that would open a whole other can of worms.
Yeah,
We'll
that's it. It's
see.
a dangerous road to go down, believe you me. It is.
I
Yeah.
have buddies chiding me on, "Oh, you should do it. You should do." So, we'll see because
Oh, well.
some of the areas are getting a little too. I'm like you like a little space. You don't like everything assholes to elbows, right? In your
Yeah, yeah,
displays, I
yeah, yeah,
remember you
yeah.
talking about that, and especially when you were setting up the cantina, that HasLab cantina, and that's
Yeah.
when I realized, oh, he figures out where he's going to put it after he gets it. He doesn't care when he gets it. He's just, I'm getting it,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
find a place for it.
yeah.
But yes,
But the
some of
thing
the
is now I'm
areas
generally running out of space. That's the issue. That's the issue.
some of the areas are getting a little tight and
Yeah.
could warrant, it definitely could warrant if I wanted to expand getting any more toy lines. I'm pretty happy with what I have because right now it's usually a
Yeah.
figure here or there, and you can always find a spot for a
Yeah.
three and three
Well,
quarter
I
inch
mean,
figure.
that's the main thing about it, isn't it? I mean, you've got to be happy within your collection, and like I've said in numerous episodes of My Collecting Life, it's your own personal collection. You get joy and happiness from that. It doesn't matter how big your collection is. It doesn't matter what you've got in your collection. It's personal to you. And I think
Right.
it's really cool that now we're doing this episode, this series, should I say,
Mhm.
is that it's just the nostalgia and the feelings of memories and stuff like that, and joy that you get from the things that you had as a kid. We've got
Yeah.
one more. We've got one more item here. This
Yep.
is the last slide. So, again,
This perfect timing. Last slide and the first Star Wars figure I got ever. My childhood Darth Vader.
wow,
Uh, it's a
wow.
replacement. It's a replacement saber, but that's the original cape.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's some
Wow.
playware there, but that was the very first figure I got. That would have been from Hills. I remember pulling it, looking at the huge wall of figures and pulling it off, and
Yep.
Mom, can I get this one? And that would have been back when they were like $1.99 a figure.
Wow. That's
But like you
amazing.
said, like now I cut the bubble and I'm careful when I did save the card back. Back
Yeah.
then we just ripped them right
Yeah.
off, threw away the card back. You didn't care, or you kept the card back if you wanted the other side just to see what else you need. But
Yeah.
I never once thought about saving the card backs at all.
Mm.
But yeah, that figure started the whole Star Wars obsession.
Yeah. I mean, he's a great figure. I mean, even now, I think he
Oh,
still holds up as a decent figure. He really
I agree.
does. I
I
think he's
totally
great.
agree. I
And
mean, I like the. Go ahead.
no, 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 go on.
I was just going to say I did get the Stan Solo removable helmet, which has a
Yeah.
cloth cape and a cloth skirt, and it's a wonderful, you know, update. I love it, but I never, all the years I played with this, all the years of having it, I never thought, he looks a little wonky. I was fine with it. He was taller than all of them. I
Yeah.
like. I never really had a problem with, the lightsaber coming out of the hilt. I didn't like that they weren't long enough. I
Yeah.
don't have original, I have reproduction of the double telescoping. I love how much that is more accurate and you can
Yeah.
actually have them standing at a better distance, dueling and stuff. I would have loved that as a kid. I didn't know they even existed.
Other than that
As
aside,
a kid.
with regards to the lightsaber, you said you were
Yeah,
disappointed it wasn't longer.
right.
Apart from that, a lot of the figures weren't movie accurate, were
Right.
they?
Right.
I mean,
No,
did that
no,
bother you as a kid?
no, not really. Only the lightsaber part bothered me. I didn't never
Mm,
cared that the faces didn't look exactly right or the
yeah,
colors or the guns. None of that really bothered me.
yeah,
I knew in the movies they're standing farther apart because I'm constantly battling these guys. I'm battling
yeah,
he and
yeah,
Obi-Wan
yeah,
or him and Luke, and I'm like, they're standing too damn close together. And especially once Bespin Luke came out, now he has, it's not in his arm anymore. It's
he's
the
holding on to it.
regular
Yeah, yeah.
lightsaber. So yeah, I would say that's the only thing. I never was
Mm.
bothered that the Falcon wasn't the right size or that the X-wing was undersized.
Well,
Because
that's
everybody
the thing. I
is
mean,
obsessed with scale. Never
it
cared.
was a
Never
perfect
cared.
scale for playability. That's the thing. I mean, if it was I mean, you look at the size of the Millennium Falcon now. You look at the size of the Ghost. For these HasLab projects and stuff like that. Can you
Mhm.
imagine kids back in the 80s lifting that kind of thing around to try and fly it? I mean, the
No way.
shuttle was big enough.
Oh my God. Yeah. When I
Yeah,
saw that commercial, I never had it as a kid. I got it later. But
yeah,
even now, I could not get over how flipping big that thing is.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like you said, the first thing I thought is, how the hell's a kid going to hold this, pull that trigger, extend those
yeah,
wings, and even get through a damn door?
yeah,
Like, where are you going to fly that thing around and not bump into a coffee table or an end table or
yeah.
something? Yeah, no,
I mean, can you
I
imagine
never
dropping
have
it if
a
it's
problem.
too heavy?
Oh my God, totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah,
I mean, the playability, it's a beautiful display piece, but looking at it, the playability would have pissed me off because you'd have to have like a flat table and semi fold those wings down to be able to get into that side piece. The cockpit's
yeah,
fine, but that
yeah,
side area you can't really get to when it's parked with the wings up.
yeah,
But again, this is adult eyes. I don't know that I would have been just more careful of, I don't want to screw
yeah,
up these wings,
yeah,
the mechanism, because I
yeah,
was a little, the only thing, when you got me thinking about this, when you asked about scale, the thing about the Boulder Hill that did bother me was on the cartoon, Rhino could come out of the door, and
yeah,
it couldn't come out of Boulder Hill. But that was like the only car that couldn't fit out. Everything else,
yeah,
or vehicle,
yeah.
everything else could come out. So I just parked Rhino like off to the side, and I was fine with it. But
It's
that's the
interesting
only
because
scale thing, that got
when it
me.
comes to mask, I've asked the question before, to Luke Reynolds and Adam Berry because they're
Mhm.
very into mask. What would they think about a 6-inch scale
Oh no,
line of mask? Yeah, they said the same thing, and they said
yeah,
because the mask is about the vehicles.
totally.
So
100%. I mean, think of
yeah,
how big those freaking vehicles would be if you had 6-inch figures.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
no, that you couldn't fit anything. That Rhino would be. I mean, especially if they went with, we really have to make everything to scale. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like that, because is the big Millennium Falcon even to scale? Really, is it really to scale? Are the
No, I
you know
don't know.
I
I don't think it is. I mean, it's got a bigger cockpit, so you can fit 4 figures in there instead of the 2 that
right,
you got with the original Kenner version back in the
right,
day. Um, but no, it's not because if it was, it would be absolutely huge. It
right. I
goes
mean,
to scale.
yeah, I hear these guys say, "Oh, I want an X-wing in 6-inch scale, or an AT-AT." An AT-AT in that scale would
Yeah,
be 4 feet high, literally
yeah.
4 feet high. Who the hell's gonna have room for an
I,
AT-AT that
I
big?
I think you can get away with a 6-inch scale X-wing. I really do because I've got the Rattler, and that's GI Joe classified, and that thing is quite.
That's big, but
I
okay,
think you can get away with that.
I'm gonna call that out. That is not to scale. If you look at the actual wingspan is a foot and a half, about a foot and a half too short.
Wow.
Honest to God, because if you look at the actual plane that it's based on, or the original Rattler,
Yeah,
that the fuselage on this 6-inch is as long as the wingspan, and the wingspan has to be longer than the fuselage. It just has to be. So if you look, I'm just saying, it's a gorgeous
yeah,
vehicle. I've
yeah, yeah.
seen your review, I've seen others. I'm not shitting on it. I'm shitting on the, oh, 6-inch is great because everything's to scale and everything's so much more lifelike. It's not
Yeah,
really. They still cheat a little bit here and there, is all I'm
yeah,
saying.
but
That's
they're gonna
that's
have to, otherwise it
that's my
will be
point.
too big.
That's my
It's the
point.
same with the
Yeah, yeah.
52 quarter inch. We've said it before. It's world building.
Yeah.
It there's a playability in it. You need kids to be able to move these ships around to play with them and stuff like that. Otherwise,
Correct.
what's the point? So
And
um,
that's why I'm drawn to the older toys, because I like toys to look like toys. If it
yeah,
starts getting realistic, I have nothing against it. But then, well, I'll just make a model of it. You know what I mean? If
yeah,
I want it to
yeah,
look like the movie, I'll make a miniature. I'll make a model of it, because you look at those the TIE fighters with the correct size wings, and they're
yeah,
they're enormous. Again, that would take up. I don't know how tall those are, but they're
yeah. They're quite.
gigantic.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if a
yeah,
kid, and then they don't have that the battery compartment on the back. So how do you even hold that? I'm thinking as a kid to fly it
yeah,
around.
yeah, yeah.
You know, yeah,
Well,
but
that's the good thing about the original TIE fighters, wasn't it? Okay, it didn't look like
right.
the TIE fighter from behind because you had that big thing coming out the back of it, but that was to hold on to fly it around. So again,
Exactly.
you've got to have something. Yeah, these toy designers, you know, they're not daft. They do need to think of
Right.
these things when they're building stuff and designing stuff for kids to play with. And that's what I meant
Right.
when we said at the beginning, toys back in the day were meant to be played with. Now, as a
100%.
display piece, I don't mind that sort of like big
Right.
TIE fighter
Right.
because do you know
Right.
what I mean? Because I'm not going to be
Oh, it's
playing with it. But
gorgeous. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can make
mm,
movie dioramas with, the vintage collection toy
yeah, of
line of, that Hasbro has out. May I have one sheet of an honorable mention? I know it's only supposed to
course
be
you
five,
can.
but I saw
No, it's fine.
Space, Lego Space. This was
Oh,
my first Lego Space, the Space Start. Um, this is not my childhood original. Unfortunately, all
right.
my childhood Lego died,
Yep.
but I was, again, being into space and science and everything. I absolutely loved all the Lego Space.
Yeah.
Um, I bought just a couple figures, and I got a huge donation from a friend of mine, and they're actually
Wow.
on top of the. But that's a line I'd like to get some more of because I have so many memories. A friend of mine, Adam Zimmerman, he had a box. It was like a 3-foot cube, just filled, I'd say, 3/4 of the way of Lego, and most of it was Lego Space. And
Yeah.
for like a year, every day after school, we'd go to his place and just dump this thing out and let our imaginations run wild. There were no instruction booklets. We were just
Yeah.
building from our imaginations. And I loved, I have nothing against the property stuff they make now, but I loved that this was, all imagination really and
Yeah.
space exploration. I just love Lego Space. So I just had to pull that one down, and the Space Start
No,
being
no,
my
no.
first one.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
no,
it.
no. That's absolutely fine. And again, I know we've got people in the community. Chris Miwa, Scuba Pete's got
Mhm.
some space Lego. Matt
Yep.
from Zero Hunter Toys, he's got some space Lego. So it is great. And
Yeah.
again, it's something that I've been tempted to get, but I'm like, oh, I've already. So I did have quite a big Star Wars collection of Lego and stuff like that. But most of those sets now, the smaller ones, I've had to take apart and put into baggies with the instructions because I've
Yeah.
just got nowhere to store anything now. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You run
It's
out of
mental.
room.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Michael, we have come to the top of the hour, and that has gone really quick. I've got to say, I have loved chatting with you, my friend. This has been absolutely awesome. And the
Thank
quality
you.
of your toys, the way you've looked after them, they look like they're just absolutely pristine mint from,
Thank
you've
you.
just got them off a toy store. So absolutely superb. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, I'm on Instagram, and I do have a YouTube. Anybody that's on YouTube has a YouTube channel. Not that I post things there. I said to
Yeah.
you before, about a year ago, I did a toy room tour. I may do not a full tour, but like what I've gotten since then kind of
Yeah.
update thing, possibly. I have some time on my hands right now. But yeah, those two places, just my name, Michael Shaffer. I think
Yeah.
Instagram's Michael Shaffer J because somebody else had already had my name. But yeah, those are the two main places I hang out. I'm not on Face Space or My Book or any of that
Yeah.
stuff. But I thank you so much for having me on. I had a
Oh,
blast
no, it's been
chatting
an
with
absolute
you.
pleasure.
I
Absolute
love
pleasure.
this series
Oh, appreciate that, man. Thank you
that
very
you're
much.
doing. I'm hearing all the different stories from all your different guests. So thank you very
Yeah.
much for
No, no,
having me
no.
on.
Well, you're one of them now, so people can listen to your story, which is awesome. What I'll do, Michael, is I will leave the link to your social media platforms in the description below.
Thank you.
So if you haven't followed Michael on Instagram, give him a follow. What a great guy. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Stu. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
No worries, no worries. And for those of you who have stayed and watched or listened to the end, thank you very much. It does mean a lot. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.